there, my fellow YouTubers. It is Monday, January 21st, 5:53 a.m. Denver time. Okay, I'm going to link a good video here on people being interviewed, companies and people that work there, about how the Trump tariffs were affecting them. And just good stuff. Go check it out. I don't want to do a spoiler alert, but at one point they're talking to this dude and he's crying because he's all thankful that Trump got their plant back open with the tariffs. Well, of course, if I was him, I'd be happy too, especially depending on where you're living, where you're going to get another job, you're going to McDonald's or wherever you're going to go, you're probably going to take a pay cut from working at a major manufacturing plant or SNAP or, unemployment or whatnot. But, I watch that and I felt for the dude. He got his job back. But at the same time, these people know that the massive, massive part is this country got frickin' hosed by the Trump tariffs, because the massive layoffs and plant closings were a lot bigger than the jobs gained back from some places that were, a few places that were opened up and able to get going again. One of these is from an article from Fortune magazine. It says, this is from, I think it was September. Ford prepares for mass layoffs after losing $1 billion to Trump tariffs. There was another one. GM had to lay off 15,000 people. It might be more since then. And you got to remember, it affects what? It affects the truck drivers delivering the cars. It affects parts. It affects the car salesmen. I mean, we can all say fuck the car salesman, like we could say fuck these car salesmen here on YouTube. But that's still a job. That's still big time jobs lost. Like with the auto parts, one specifically mentioned AutoZone, but I'm sure they're all in the same boat. They had to raise their prices so much, because of the steel and aluminum that are in the parts that went up. One of these guys even mentions that they lost a customer because they had to add another byline on their billing to add 19% for Trump's tariffs, and they lost a customer over that. So where are they going to go and get their stuff cheaper? Who knows? Or maybe they went out of business. The auto companies are obviously the bigger ones to see. Some of these plants, I couldn't really find out how many people were losing their job at a lot of these plants, because only a few opened back up, regardless of what you want to see on the news or the Trumpster and that end of the program wants to put out there. But it's just freaking sad. We're getting torn up. But like my title of this is going back to the food shortage thing. They are trying to make this country more self-reliant, because as I see it, these food shortages that will very soon become apparent. We do not need to be so much self-reliant on steel production and all that, but yet we do, because when the food shortage hit, and obviously you could see in other countries, even the bigger one, the superpowers, they have issues with food already. I mean, that's, of course, that shit, I can't say anytime I've seen anytime recently that's even been on the news, even though I haven't watched CNN or even Fox in I don't know who knows how long. But when I catch blurbs here on CBS or NBC, their world news tonight and local news, nobody's mentioning food shortages or people starving to death anywhere, which, of course, they don't want that out there. They don't want to scare the shit out of people. But we have to get more reliant, and that's another thing, like I have said, but I haven't said in a long time. All these military out there positioning and claiming they're getting ready to go to war, and who was it? Was it China saying they're going to sink some aircraft? Come on, people. I mean, that's shit to throw out there for us, the awakened crowd, because then nobody else gives a crap about that shit. And like I said before, Trump's been busted saying we had aircraft carriers heading off North Korea when Kim Jong-un was saying he was going to nuke us. And then, I don't know if he got busted or he just went out and admitted that no of them aircraft groups were nowhere near there. I mean, people, you cannot watch this crap. If they say we don't, all these countries are saying we got these missiles here now or those missiles there now. What is it? Russia's got this bomb that can take out, a whole frickin' aircraft carrier group. I mean, I think we all probably got those. But what does it matter if they want to start shooting them off? We're all frickin' dead anyway. But I'm sorry. That's just where I am. All this prepositioning, all this horse shit. Let's go back to the military preps, that are supposed to be going on around various countries. To me, they still got to have some military somewhere to defend our borders from outside the borders. You can't just come in and defend yourself off the coast. like, what is it, China building those islands. Well, I can't blame them. You want a forward operating base further away, you know, not just wait for the missiles to come in off your damn coast. And this is the frickin' country that's been fucking with all them other countries forever, that gets their just desserts when shit happens. But the problem is, we get to suck it with them, and we are the ones that get to die, and they don't care. We're fodder, whether we're on the front lines or whether we're sitting at home watching CNN. You know, it's just a crying shame. But still, to me, they just want this country self-reliant. That's all it is. And like I said, they'll want the forces out to protect the country from further out, and also maybe to steal somebody else's cattle, or, you know, kind of saying that it sounds kind of minor, but it isn't. Because when you get a whole country freaking starving to death, everybody, including our leaders, and they go shut down all the borders. You know, we got the wall and troops down there to protect people from coming that way. Like I said, Canada's not so much of a threat because they're a smaller population. They're no, they're not nothing armed like we would be getting from all these South Americans. And like I said, the fact is there's just not as many millions or billions of them when you consider all those South American countries. I was going to mention something else. Oh, at the end of my last video, I mentioned, you know, martial law, they wouldn't use no troops. They decided to all kill each other. That was mostly sarcasm, a little bit of satire. As I said before, martial law in this country is logistically impossible. Simple. If there's 50 million armed Americans, then you need to have at least a 2-to-1 ratio, 100 million armed bad guys. And no, they're not going to go out and start nuking people's houses just because they got a whole bunch of guns. Look at the Boston Marathon bombing. Look at anything where the SWAT team, when the cops go ride down on somebody's house, you know, because they're snipering or they're in there with hostages. You got a whole frickin' SWAT team out there, up to 50 cops, just for one guy in one house with one gun. The Boston Marathon bombing, look how many cops I mean, that, I can't believe this country didn't stand up for that. Made videos and some mainstream cried about it. Look how many people it took just to go down a few streets over there. It's infrickin' possible. And all the UN's not going to come over here. NATO, China, Japan. I mean, for the most part of all these programs all in bed together, we would have been at war a long time ago. But still, get ready for the food shortages. And what was one comment? Oh, how do you get 6 months preps if you have to bug out somewhere? Well, I've only got one spot where I got a separate stash, but you know, you always got to hope. And the way I see it, vehicles are going to be fine. They're not going to EMP us. They're not going to martial law us because that goes all together. The troop logistics is impossible. Most of the soldiers, in a bad shit hits the fan like that, they're going to go home. The ones you have on the streets will be the assholes and the bad guys, but there's going to be a lot less of them, because those of you that used to be in the military or are in the military, if you're here in this country and shit hits the fan that bad, are you really going to go out and stop looters? Oh, no, I don't fucking think so. Are you going to go out and confiscate guns? No, you're going to go home if you have to frickin' walk. But anyway, no EMP, no martial law. Like I said, because either situation involves them losing all their electronic toys. All that shit is gone. Their drones, their 4G, their 5G. Well, especially with, you know, the EMP. We can get a legit CME from the sun. You know, nobody can do shit about that. But you know, their 4G, their 5G, their tracking, their tracing, everything is gone. They don't want that. You know, and like I said, we could get a real CME, and I don't care what kind of. They're not going to shoot up some fucking missile like in these movies and stop a CME. But you know, stay away from that fear-mongering horse shit. They ain't never going to happen. You know, these channels, I think a lot of these channels know that's not going to happen, but it's too late to change your program. Like a Trumpster that now hates Trump, that his whole channel has been based on Trump, so he can't change his mind, you know. You're going to lose people. But anyway, you know, stay awake, pay attention. You know, keep stocks of your ramen soups, your pork and beans, and your Campbell's chicken noodle soups and all that good shit, and lots of toilet paper. Anyway, until next time, just chill out, I guess, enjoy the show.